everyone, and welcome back to Baronsdale for the next roster change video. And by request, I've bumped the Snotlings up to the next slot. So let's get into the good old Snotlings. They were a bit of a revelation when they came into Blood Bowl. We hadn't had a brand new team for a very long time. And it was, I think, the first brand new team in the 2016 era of the game. And it came right at the end, the same year we got the next edition. And they went through a couple of changes, I think, because of that period between when they came out and then, of course, they would be then updated again. Um, but yeah, probably for the 2020 edition were the strongest stunty team, in my opinion. They were anyway. Um, I I've mixed feelings. I love playing with Snotlings because they're a great fun team to play as. But I've played against them a few times, and I don't actually have, considering they're a stunty team, I don't have the best record against them. I find them frustrating to play against. There's a lot of dice rolls, there's a lot of 2+ dodges, and yeah, they can be a real pain in the backside to play against, which is what they're designed to be completely. So that's a good thing, I guess. So let's see if in season 3 things are going to get better for the Snotlings or worse. So starting with the Snotling Lineman, the worst player in all of Blood Bowl, I reckon. Um, of course, he's not, because actually what he can do for his cost is pretty darn good. Um, but if you just look at his stat line alone, he is terrible. Movement 5, slow. Strength 1, ridiculously weak. Edge 3+, average. Passing 4+, average, I suppose, in Blood Bowl, but not a great passer of the ball. Armor 6+, dreadful. Um, and so as a stat line, it's very poor. But it doesn't matter because it only costs 15,000. He's dirt cheap. He gets agility and now devious on primaries. So this guy's getting dirty player um, as a primary now, as opposed to a secondary, which he would have been back in the previous edition. General and secondary, but now you can't random secondaries. I don't know how often you're going to dip into that. Maybe you want one Snotling with block, but it probably wouldn't just be the lineman. And then it comes with dodge, right stuff, stunty, titchy, sidestep, and insignificant. And if you're wondering why it's purple, it's because I'm not 100% sure whether insignificant is a good or a bad thing, because I haven't got rule book in hand yet. I'm not one of the privileged few. My little tiny channel uh, is not enough for me to get any sort of advanced look at the rule book. So I'm waiting like other people, and I'm responding from leaks that we've seen. And I've not seen anything about insignificant other than what's been chatted about on Discord channels and other message boards. So I believe it's something to do with the balancing of the team, that you can't have more insignificant players than non-insignificant, or something like that. So I've done it purple because I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I don't think it's game changing either way. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. Obviously, they are really good little players because you can have so many of them. You can sidestep, you can dodge on 2+s because of Titchy, and you've got the dodge skill. They can be thrown. They're great little guys. If you catch one, it probably will explode, and that's the problem. But with dodge and sidestep, they can be incredibly annoying to try and pin down. So you're probably wondering why I haven't crossed off swarming, because swarming isn't here now. They have lost swarming on the Snotling lineman, and that is because it's now become a team rule. So we'll look at that when we get to it. So on the whole, have Snotlings got any worse linemen? No, in fact, they've got a little bit better because they've got access to the devious skills, which gives them more skills to look at, and they've improved in passing. They still get to swarm through their team rule, so yep, Snotling lineman improved. Snotling Funhopper, again, very similar to the way it was before. Movement 6, strength 1, edge 3+, passing 4+, armor 6+, 20,000, so 5k more. Agility and devious on primary. Secondary is general. It's got a lot of the same skills. It doesn't have Titchy or insignificant, but it does have Pogo instead. So this is your jumping player because he's bouncing up and down on a spongy fungus. Um, yeah, so pretty good player actually for 20k, I think. You'll definitely want to run a fun hopper, for the mere fact that they are a lot of fun. Whether they are top players, I don't know, but they are a lot of fun, and they can actually get into some cool places because they've got pogo stick. They can actually jump into cages. Whether you've got the strength to do anything about it when you get there, I don't know, but they can be a little nuisance, and they can also jump through your lines if you're not careful. So decent players. Obviously, again, slight improvement because they've got the devious access and the passing improvement. Neither of those are major for this player, I don't think, but they certainly haven't got any worse. So that's pretty good. The Stilty Runner, it's the same story again. Look, devious access and passing improvement. So the Stilty Runners are still movement 6, strength 1, edge 3 plus, passing 4 plus, armor 6 plus, 20k AD primary and G on secondary. So the point of these guys is they've got an extra bit of movement and they can sprint. So they are movement 9 when they roll well. So yeah, otherwise they're pretty much the same. So at the moment we've looked at three of their player types, and all of them, none of them have got worse. If anything, they've got slight buffs to them. And the devious on the basic lineman is a really good buff. The fungus flinger. Now, something I might have been playing wrong all this time. I noticed that in the 2016 rulebook they don't have Titchy. Now I don't know if that was FAQ'd, but I'm pretty sure when I've played Snotlings they've been Titchy dodging their little fungus flingers around, but maybe they haven't. I'm just trying to think back to games against Snotling now. I'm thinking, were they assuming their player had Titchy when they didn't all along, or was there an FAQ that gave them Titchy back? So I've put it in green. If that's an improvement, that's great for them. It means that they can dodge out of trouble to go and reposition somewhere. It's so much easier now. But yeah, so if anyone in the comments wants to let me know, have I dreamt that they used to have Titchy, or is that a new skill for them? And obviously they've got Devious on primary, which is potentially even more important for the Fungus Flinger, because there's a few secret weapon based Devious skills, Saboteur and the Violence one, Ingenious Violence or something like that, Creative Violence. I can't remember what it's called. So again, slight buff to the Fungus Flinger. The Trained Troll. We've looked at this character a few times now because he's on quite a few. Well, the troll itself is on a few teams, so that is a basic troll stat line. Basic troll access. It doesn't have mutations access, but where this troll really shines is it doesn't have loner at all. So loner 3 plus wasn't bad in the old edition, but now it doesn't have loner at all. So you can reroll on this troll, making your rerolls more powerful, and making you much more inclined to utilize your troll and be active with the troll as opposed to fearing him making a mess of something and leaving him as more of a passive player. And you need to be aggressive with your trolls with the Snotling team because they're the blitzers, believe it or not, on your team. Well, maybe not now with the pump wagons, but they are. If they're not blitzers, they certainly are they're more of a hammer than an anvil when compared with what they do on other teams. So not having that loner is a huge boost. Then we've got the pump wagon. Again, movement 5. It's had a movement increase, so I mean, it should. Look at it, it's on wheels, so I don't know why it was so slow before. So a movement increase is great. Passing access now, which is quite funny to think that the little Snotlings could all be holding onto the ball and then lobbing it down the field. It's not going to happen very often because 6 plus passing is terrible, but at least they can if they need to. Other than that, everything's the same. But their big boon is they've lost secret weapon, which is amazing. So these things are going to see a lot more use now because they're not going to be eating up bribes or disappearing after one drive. Really, really good. And that is a lovely boost for the Snotlings. So as you can see, the story of Snotlings has been just all boosts. All boosts, really. So here we had to find a con sooner or later. One of the cons is they've gone up to 70k rerolls. So on a 3 reroll team, that's an extra 30k added. So it's not the end of the world. It's a bit annoying, particularly as you might want to have more rerolls because of not having loner on your troll now. So yeah, it's a bit annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Underworld Challenge is who they play for. So all of those stars are the ones that are going to be available. Low cost linemen, which is your the Snotlings aren't adding to the total value of the team. Bribery and corruption means they can get 50k bribes, and is it reroll something to do with argue the call as well, I think. And then swarming means that you can basically do the swarming that you did before. I don't know the exact wording of the swarming as a team role. I haven't seen that one, but I believe it's a similar sort of situation too. Maybe you can't swarm as many potentially, but at least you can swarm. And it also means that Underworld aren't benefiting from that because it's not part of their special rules. So not much to be upset about there either. So when it comes to the pros and cons, look what I've given the Snotlings. I've given them the golden up because no secret weapon on Pump Wagon, increased movement on it, no loner on the Troll, passing 4+ to all Snotlings, Titchy on the Flinger if that is something new, buffs to throw team out, we didn't even talk about, but obviously with Bullseye and the Mighty Blow on the throw, I forgot what that skill's called, lethal something, um, there's so many options now of ways to improve and things to do with the Snotling team. And the only really cons I could think of was the 70k rerolls and perhaps no random secondary skills. That could have been useful in the past to get block and sure hands on of some Snotlings. Whereas now you really are going to have to pay for them, and that's more than double the cost of your actual Snotling in the first place. And another pro I couldn't even fit on is the devious access. That shouldn't be underestimated. If there's ever a player that you want to throw at fouls, it's a 15k Snotling, and now they can be mighty blowing things on the floor. You can use lone fowler on a Snotling because he could just wander up to somebody, foul them, especially if it's like an armor 8+. Doesn't even need any assists, and you can have 2 goes at it with the reroll. So I just think that's great for the Snotlings. Now the only thing I'd temper about this is they were still a tier 3 team before, and obviously when I say tier 3, that's a Games Workshop tier 3, but in other tierings that would be even lower. So although they've got a golden up from me, because I think they've improved way more than they've lost, that doesn't necessarily mean I think they're going to be in the top echelons of Blood Bowl. In fact, they might still be down in the stunted tier with the others, but they are now by far the best stunted team, I think, if they weren't already. In fact, they probably were already, but Goblins have improved. I think these guys are still ahead of Goblins potentially. It's just an incredibly annoying team that now has lost some of its more frustrating weaknesses with the pump wagons and the trolls. It's a wonderful time, I think, to be a Snotling player. You're going to have a lot of fun with this team. So there they go. Who'd have thought I'd be putting Snotlings with Necromantic Horror? Um, Remember, this is not a tiering. This is not what I think the best teams and the worst teams. Um, Amazon, I still think, is the best team. And like I said in the previous videos, I placed them here before I heard about Break Tackle. That will probably move them here. At the end, I'm going to do a overview of all of them, and we might move some teams around after I've had longer to think about them. Or other people in the comments may have convinced me that maybe I needed to shove them one way or the other. Anyway, that's Snotlings then. Good beneficiaries of the new rule set. Thank you very much for watching. We're going to do Black Orcs next because somebody else has requested Black Orcs, so I've bumped them up as well. And yeah, thank you for all the likes and the subscribes. Keep them coming. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you very much. Bye for now.